It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. The ends justify the means. Politics have no relation to morals. The more sand has escaped from the hourglass of our life, the clearer we should see through it. The prince must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. There is no avoiding war. It can only be postponed to the advantage of others. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. A successful leader must balance qualities such as courage, cunning, and pragmatism. Leaders should surround themselves with honest advisors, not sycophants. The choice of advisors and allies is crucial for a ruler's success. Perception is important, and leaders should manage their public image strategically. Leaders must be flexible and adapt their strategies to changing circumstances. It is often more advantageous for a leader to be feared than loved. Machiavelli emphasizes a realistic understanding of politics, detached from idealism. A ruler must be well versed in the art of war and strategic thinking. A leader must navigate both fortune, external circumstances, and virtue, personal qualities, skillfully. Machiavelli suggests that leaders may need to act immorally for the greater good. Leaders must understand the true nature of human beings to govern effectively. A leader should study history to gain insights into effective governance. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Entrepreneurs are simply those who understand that there is little difference between obstacle and opportunity and are able to turn both to their advantage. It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. The one who adapts his policy to the times prospers, and likewise that the one whose policy clashes with the demands of the times does not. A return to first principles in a republic is sometimes caused by the simple virtues of one man. His good example has such an influence that the good men strive to imitate him, and the wicked are ashamed to lead a life so contrary to his example. War should be the only study of a prince. He should consider peace only as a breathing time, which gives him leisure to contrive, and furnishes as ability to execute military plans. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. Of mankind we may say in general they are fickle, hypocritical, and greedy of gain. He who is prudent and lies in wait for an enemy who is not, will be victorious. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. The injury done to a man ought to be such that vengeance cannot be feared. Men rise from one ambition to another. First, they seek to secure themselves against attack, and then they attack others. There is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success than to take the lead in the introduction of a new order of things. Make yourself a craftsman in speech, for thereby you shall gain mastery over men. Never was anything great achieved without danger. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Achieving desired political goals may require morally questionable methods. Machiavelli acknowledges the use of deception and manipulation in political dealings. Leaders should maintain control over their domain and not become overly reliant on external forces. A ruler should establish and maintain discipline and order within the state. Successful leaders plan for the long term, considering the consequences of their actions. Choosing the right moment for action is critical in politics. Leaders should possess practical wisdom and the ability to make sound judgments. Leaders should be strategic in choosing their battles and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Building and maintaining loyalty among followers and allies is crucial. Leaders must strike a balance between idealistic principles and pragmatic realism. Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions. The fact is that a man who wants to act virtuously in every way necessarily comes to grief among so many who are not virtuous. Men in general judge more by the sense of sight than by the sense of touch, because everyone can see but only a few can test by feeling. The main foundations of every state, new states as well as ancient or composite ones, are good laws and good arms. Men are always averse to enterprises where they foresee difficulties. The great majority of mankind are satisfied with appearances, as though they were realities, and are often more influenced by the things that seem than by those that are. Make no small plans, for they have no power to stir the soul. War is just when it is necessary. Arms are permissible when there is no hope except in arms. The more an injury is debated, the more it irritates the parties concerned. Hence it comes about that all armed prophets have been victorious, and all unarmed prophets have been destroyed. Before all else, be armed. When you disarm the people, you commence to offend them and show that you distrust them either through cowardice or lack of confidence, and both of these opinions generate hatred. Nature that framed us of four elements, warring within our breasts for regiment, doth teach us all to have aspiring minds. Hatred is gained as much by good works as by evil. It is not titles that make men illustrious, but men who make titles illustrious. A prudent man should always follow in the path trodden by great men and imitate those who are most excellent, so that if he does not attain to their greatness, at any rate he will get some tinge of it. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great.